Hiya, Georgie. What a nice boat. So I'm back with another game pickups video. Mostly Nintendo-related stuff, and newer games and whatnot. But you know what? Let's just get into it. So, got the Sega Genesis Mini, which I did an unboxing video. I've really been enjoying that. I haven't decided if I'm gonna hack it to add more games or buy like physical retro Genesis games to put in there, or I might even do both. We'll have to wait and see. But I'd kind of like to have some physical Genesis games. Would be nice. So next we got a reproduction card of a SNES game. It's Super Barbarian 5. Kind of like a whim buy. I think I just saw like a video or review on it or something. I thought it sounded kind of cool. You know, I grew up with the Bomberman games, and 3, 4, and 5 weren't released outside of Japan. I think they might have been released in Europe, but I'm not positive. But yeah, so I thought I'd give it a whirl. Now this game I've been wanting to buy since it first came out, like 10 years ago, and so I bought it and still haven't played it yet, but it's Goldeneye 007, remake of the N64 game, which, God, that's such a classic. I think that was the first game my brother bought for his N64. Like I said, I still haven't gotten around to playing this. Hey, what's another, you know, I waited 10 years, what's another, yeah. Now we get into the more newer stuff. One XBone game, Gears 5. Amazing game. It's and it's basically everything I had predicted happened. Like, you know, they revealed why the Locust Queen was a human and where the Locust came from. What the sires were. You know, a lot of questions that we've been asking since the second game are pretty much answered in this. The campaign was awesome. A little too short, in my opinion, but there's exploration parts, which are kind of cool. You drive like a skiff around. It's kind of cool, actually. And the I only played a little bit of the multiplayer so far, but so far it's pretty good. I still think the fourth game had the best online, but yeah, overall it's a really good game. Now I got a bunch of Switch games. The first one is Fire Emblem Three Houses. Now, as I've stated on this channel before, I'm a long-term Fire Emblem fan, or long time, I should say. This one, the thing is, Radiant Dawn was for the Wii U, was my favorite, and a lot of times, like, a new one will come out, like the one that, what was it, Fates, I believe? The one that came out for 3DS back in 2017. I was like, wow, that one's, like, almost up to par with the, Radiant Dawn, as far as favorites go, at least for me. And this is another one that does that. It's very different from the other Fire Emblem games because it's kind of more unique. For one thing, there's 3 different classes, so to speak, which you probably know about. But basically, there's 3 different stories, which gives this game, you know, like a story for each of these characters or each of the houses, if you will. And it actually shows like the rest of them, like the other classmates for the 3 houses. I think there's 9 to each house. Oh wait, no, 8. Excuse me. And what's really cool is you can pretty much make the characters however you want. So like in the beginning, the characters can really equip like any weapon. Well, like low-level weapon, for example, like a bronze lance or a bronze sword, whatever. You know, anybody can wield that. And then, if they use it enough, their lance skills, like if they use the bronze lance, their lance skills will go up and they can equip stronger lances. So that's a tradition with Fire Emblem games. But in this case, like, anyone can wield these weapons. So you can pretty much make the characters however you want. Like, you're like, okay, I'm going to make this guy a mage, or I'm going to make this one a swordsman, or something like that. And then you can, because you pick a class, I went with the Black Eagles for my first playthrough. I'm still working on my first playthrough. The Black Eagles is basically the red team, if you will. And you can actually recruit students from the other classes if you want. There's a variety of ways to do that. One is like, for example, one of the characters from the Blue Lions, a character named Felix, he's like, oh, I'll join you if you, the main character, like, hones your swordsmanship skills, which I did, so I got him to join. And You can also... There's a variety of ways to build bonds between all the characters, which I'm not going to go into all the details on that. But aside from just, on the battle, that's one way is fighting alongside them. But there's other ways to do it too, which I'm not going to go into all the details. A lot of it has to do with, like, the exploration feature, which is something I really love, is the exploring feature. But, yeah, overall, very good game. I've really been enjoying that. Next up, we got Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. Excuse me for a second. Now, this is an exclusive to the Switch, because, from what I understand, it was pretty much like the same as the Bayonetta sequels. Like, nobody really wanted to fund or publish it, whatever, and Nintendo's like, well, we'll do it. Well, that's why it's a Switch exclusive. The only thing with this, because it's kind of why I skipped a lot of the later Marvel vs. Capcom games, is it's almost like they became too commercial. Like, it's like, oh, now we decide to put Thor in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Not because he's a cool character and all, but just because it's because of the movies. So, and this is kind of the same way. You have a lot of the characters. It's like, oh, we gotta push them because they're in movies or TV shows and stuff like that. But whatever, it's a good game. The reason I definitely had to get this was because, well, it's Thanos, one of my favorite Marvel characters since I was a kid. I think that was one of the first comics I bought when I was like 5 or 6, was Thanos and Warlock. There's a ton of characters in it, which is also kind of one of the game's flaws, because this might turn some people off. It's a very grind-heavy game. See, in the other games, the classic ones like XBone Legends and Marvel Ultimate Alliance, it was like, say you picked 4 characters to play through an entire level with, and they went from, let's say all your characters were level 8, and then after you took these 4 through a whole level, they're all at level 11. Well, the other characters that you didn't use would automatically go up to at least level 10. That doesn't happen in this game. You have to level them all up on your own. And there's 2 ways to do it. Like I said, there's the grinding, which I don't really mind since I love these beat-em-up type games anyway. And you also unlock experience cubes, which you can use to level them up. I kind of try to ration them. Like I said, I do it the old-fashioned way because I like beat-em-ups. And if you plan on getting this and you're going to do the same thing, like grind leveling up, I recommend playing the X-Men level over and over again, because the Sentinels are pretty easy to kill, and you can get good experience points from them. I'm out of room up here. So next up we have Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night. I played the first game, Bloodstained, Curse of the Moon, which I bought digitally on the Switch last year, and it's the spiritual successor to Castlevania, and it's an amazing game. That one, Curse of the Moon, that one is pretty much like Castlevania 3, and it was funny, it was like, as I was playing that and like completing it and stuff, I was like, I wonder if hopefully they'll make one that's like Symphony of the Night. That's pretty much what this is. It's literally just like Symphony of the Night. I mean, I only played a little bit of it so far because I'm kind of playing it for October, but very good game. The music is amazing, the gameplay is solid, and what else can I say? If you love Castlevania, if you loved Symphony of the Night, definitely check that game out. It's on all the systems, too, and platforms and stuff. I mean, yeah. I don't know if it's on, like, tablets or whatever, but you know what I mean. So next up, we have Spyro, the Reignited Trilogy. Now, this was something I had planned a while ago. I was like, oh, I'm going to get the Crash Collection on the Xbox, and then I'll get the Spyro Collection. Which I'm sure it'll come, I'll get that on the Switch. So, finally it came, and it's... Oh, God, so many great memories with the Spyro. I still remember, like, PlayStation Underground demo discs? That's where I first experienced Spyro. The first game was on one of those, like, God, like 20-something years ago, and then there was all the sequels and stuff, so... And we got them all in the collection here. Look awesome, very beautifully done. It's all, graphics are all updated and stuff. I've only played a little bit so far, but I'm really enjoying it. And it's funny, I go back and play, like, oh my God, I forgot about those things, like... the guys that moon you, it's like, oh, I forgot about those guys. And then there's those guys that, like, steal the eggs that you have to try and retrieve. And those guys are a pain in the ass. I can't believe I forgot about them. Sounds like I forgot a good thing and a bad thing, so to speak. Last game, it's The Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening. Now, I didn't really know much about this. When this was like announced, I was like, oh, okay, cool. But then when I found out more about like the original game for the Game Boy, I was like, oh, that's actually really cool. So I'll have to check it out. The only thing that I wasn't too crazy about at first was the character style. How it's like the beady eyes. It makes me think of like Charlie Brown. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Charlie Brown. I grew up watching all the specials and stuff, but then I was kind of just like, whatever, it's not a big deal. It's not that. But it's an awesome game, a great remaster, even though I never played the original, because it's that was one of the things two things that really grabbed my attention is because it's completely different from any other Zelda game. It's not like you're trying to defeat Ganon and retrieve the Triforce and save Zelda and all that. It's a totally different story. You have to go through 8 dungeons and retrieve 8 different instruments in order to awaken the Windfish. And you have all these different cameos from different Nintendo characters and stuff. It's really cool. Nintendo should do more things like that. More games where you have like character cameos and stuff. I mean, I know they've done a few here and there, but they need to do more of them. The only thing is, the game feels kind of short and almost simplistic. And well, not simplistic, but it almost feels like it doesn't take a long time to beat. Like, I mean, I haven't beaten it yet, but the way I'm playing it, it's like, I don't know, it doesn't seem like it's going to take too long to beat. So, if you'd rather wait for like a price drop or something, or like a sale or whatever, that's perfectly understandable. But that's all the games I picked up for the past few months. Not too much, because I've been had so many games to play. So I'm trying not to overextend myself, and with stories and whatnot. But like I said, that's all the pickups I got so thanks for watching, everybody. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you watch some horror movies, because it's October, and I'll see you next time.